The Oklahoma City Thunder, sitting atop the Western Conference with a 44-10 record, entered the second half of the season with a statement victory over the 7th-seeded Minnesota Timberwolves, led by the electrifying Anthony Edwards. The T-Wolves had struggled as of late, dropping 3 of their last 4, and despite a strong performance from Edwards, who posted 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists, it wasn't enough to hold off OKC's relentless attack. Jalen Williams, a newly minted All-Star, showcased his range early, draining a deep shot from just beyond half-court, a moment that had fans wondering whether they should pay with cash, card, or even an old-school check. As the Thunder battled back from an early deficit, the game turned into a showcase of crisp ball movement and elite shot-making. Midway through the third quarter, Alex Caruso found Isaiah Hartenstein inside, capping off a possession in which 4 different Thunder players touched the ball before it even hit the floor. Despite the dazzling display, OKC still found themselves trailing by 4. With time winding down in the third, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP frontrunner, took control, pulling up from deep to give the Thunder a 7-point advantage heading into the fourth. And when OKC needed him most, SJ continued to deliver. A flurry of ball movement found Chet Holmgren open for a clutch 3-pointer, reinforcing the looming question: who can stop this team with Chet back at full strength? Holmgren contributed 19 points while also anchoring the defense, limiting Minnesota to a dismal 1-for-9 shooting performance when attacking him directly. But the night belonged to Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder improved to 8-1 in February, best in the NBA, behind another MVP-caliber performance from their superstar. SJ, who averages 32 points per game, poured in 35, willing his team to a 130-123 victory. His presence was undeniable. OKC struggled mightily in the fourth quarter when he was off the floor, shooting just 1-for-7 and getting outscored by 12. The moment he checked back in, the Thunder flipped the script, outscoring Minnesota by 12 and shooting 53% from the field to close out the game. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks faced a daunting challenge against the league-leading Boston Celtics. Entering the night, New York was winless, 0-6, against teams with top 3 records in the league: Boston, Cleveland, and Oklahoma City. Jason Tatum wasted no time in proving why the Celtics belong in that elite category, attacking the rim with force, pulling up from deep, and dictating the tempo throughout the contest. Boston has had the Knicks' number all season, leading by 20 or more in each of their previous 3 meetings, and this one was no different. They controlled the game for all but 42 seconds, showcasing their depth and versatility. Jalen Brunson did his best to keep New York within striking distance, knocking down 4 3-pointers en route to 22 points, helping the Knicks trim the deficit to just 7 in the fourth quarter. However, the Celtics had a response for every run. Kristaps Porzingis, facing his former team for the first time this season, dropped 15 points while creating havoc on both ends. Jaylen Brown, despite struggling from beyond the arc, 2-for-7, contributed 24 points. And then, when Boston needed a dagger, Tatum delivered. Coming off a well-designed screen, he buried a 3 to put the game out of reach. The Celtics walked away with a 113-105 victory, their 9th win in 10 games and 5th straight by double digits. But the bigger story was New York's inability to compete against elite competition. After consecutive blowout losses to Cleveland and Boston, the Knicks are now 0-5 against the Cavs, Celtics, and Thunder this season, having been outscored by a combined 63 points in their 3 matchups with Boston alone. ESPN analyst Tim Legler, who called the game, pointed to the Knicks' defensive struggles as the glaring issue. He emphasized that this team no longer dictates terms on defense but instead reacts to opponents, a stark contrast from last season. Their issues in ball screen coverage were particularly evident early on, allowing Porzingis to exploit mismatches with ease. When New York attempted to switch coverages, the Celtics simply adjusted, creating high-percentage looks throughout the game. Out west, the Golden State Warriors continued their resurgence, improving to 5-1 since acquiring Jimmy Butler with a dominant win over the Dallas Mavericks. Stephen Curry led the charge, scoring 30 points in just 29 minutes, while Butler chipped in 18. The Warriors led by as many as 29, controlling the game from start to finish. Legler noted that Butler's impact on the Warriors has been profound, injecting the team with confidence and structure. His mid-range prowess, the best Curry has played alongside since Kevin Durant, has added a new dynamic to Golden State's offense. Defensively, Butler's intensity has been a game-changer, giving the Warriors a toughness they previously lacked. What once seemed like a fringe play-in team has quickly become a legitimate threat. Sitting in 9th place, just a game and a half behind the Clippers for the coveted 6th seed, the Warriors are making a late-season push. Legler believes that if Golden State can secure a playoff spot outright, they could pose a serious challenge to the Western Conference's elite. With Curry still capable of magical performances and Butler bringing a playoff-tested mentality, the Warriors might just have one last deep postseason run left in them.